Okay, so when we talk about experiments or practicals in subject dynamics of machinery, you can see there are first 6 practicals are compulsory. That is 1 to 6 are compulsory. Which these practicals are, that we'll go in detail later on. And along with this compulsory experiments, we have to perform 2 experiments from this list. And along with this, we have to perform 2 assignments. Actually, assignments, a list of assignment is there. Out of these 2, we need to perform at least 1. So if you think about practicals, 6 plus 2 plus 1 assignment. So 6 compulsory experiments, then 2 out of 4, that is 6 plus 2, 8, and 1 assignment we need to perform. So, and when we talk about term work, you know the subject dynamics of machinery, oral 25 marks and term work 25 marks based on practicals. Now today we'll start with first practical, that is to determine critical speed of shaft with a single rotor. Okay, so this is out of this 4, 1 we are going to perform, and then we'll perform other practicals. So first practical we are going to perform or discuss today is experiment aim is to determine critical speed of shaft with a single rotor. I hope you heard about critical speed. Yes or no? And today I'll share you this manual with you, so you can start writing manuals along. Complete manual is there, just the readings are empty. So you can write, you can start writing lab manual. Experiments 1 to 6 are compulsory, and then out of next 2 I'm started with 7th experiment, that is critical speed of shaft. Okay, so what do you mean by critical speed? Yes, before starting practical, our aim is to determine critical speed of shaft with a single rotor. So what is your understanding when I say critical speed? Yes, please. Which speed is called as critical speed? हे theory मध्ये झालेलं आहे. Yes, anyone please? Anyone? Yes, I discussed with Madhya sir. Told me that okay, this part is covered already in theory. Am I audible? Hello? अरे आवाज येतोय का माझा? At least reply with yes or no, so that I'll understand. Okay, whatever I'm saying is reaching to you. येतोय का नाही येते आवाज?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is critical speed? No one knows about critical speed. What is critical speed? What is its significance? Okay. So I'll discuss that. If you don't know, I hope actually, I was hoping it is known to you, so that we'll go for detail about practical, but okay. You know that whenever, let's say talk about this shaft, okay. This is one vertical shaft along with one disc mounted at center of the shaft. You can say M is mass of the disc. We are going to regulate mass of the shaft. Let's say O is, I'm saying line passing through bearing centers or intersection of bearing centers. O is the intersection of bearing centers. S is geometric center of this disc. You know, if it is a circle, where the center will be, means geometric center will be at the center of the circle. Okay, so S is geometric center, while G is center of gravity. And we know that if there are some irregularities, or if there are some manufacturing, due to some manufacturing difficulties, or I'm saying due to manufacturing irregularities, the center of gravity G is not lying at the geometric center, but it is at some distance from the geometric center. So S is a geometric center, which is at the center of the circle, if it is a circular disc, and G is the center of gravity. So as this G is not at the center, what will happen? Tell me. What happens if the G is not at the geometric center? G is center of gravity and S is geometric center. In this case, G is at some distance from center of gravity, that is E. So what happened due to this eccentricity? Yes, please. Anyone? I hope you decided not to speak anything. Okay. So you know that if there is eccentricity from the center of rotation, there will be some centrifugal force acting outward, and that centrifugal force is nothing but mr omega square, where r is nothing but distance of CG, that is center of gravity, from center of rotation. In this case, you can see here, when the shaft start rotating, in that case, the distance, that is r, will be y plus e. Now, what is y? What is e? See, whatever I'm trying to explain here is just for explaining concept of critical speed. In order to explain that concept in detail, I'm explaining this all terms. So you must know what is y, what is e, what is centrifugal force, what is ky, and all. So just focus what I'm saying. I told you three centers. One is O is the line of intersection of bearing centers with disk. S is its geometric center. G is center of gravity, and E is eccentricity of CG from its geometric center. And due to this eccentricity, there will be some centrifugal force acting outward when the shaft starts rotating with some angular speed omega. You can see Y is displacement, or you can say it is dynamic displacement. You can say distance between geometric center and the bearing centers. So Y is dynamic; it keeps on changing, while E is constant one. Now, due to this Y plus E, you can say there will be a centrifugal force that is acting, and that centrifugal force is equal to m omega square into Y plus E. But at equilibrium, some resisting force will be there, as nothing but due to stiffness of this system. That K is stiffness, while Y is nothing but distance between O and S. Now, what is O, what is S, what is G? I already told you. Now, whatever when the shaft starts rotating, we know the concept of resonance. So critical speed basically nothing but the speed at which resonance occurs. Or we can say the shaft speed is equal to omega n, or this omega is equal to omega n. What is omega n? Omega n, it is nothing but, yes, at least tell me omega n if you are studying DOM. Yes, what is omega n? Anyone can tell me what is omega n, omega suffix n? This notation we are using for what? Yes, Rutvik Jetidor. What is omega n?
Natural circular frequency.
Okay, natural circular frequency. And what happens if omega is equal to omega n then? Means whatever rotational frequency the shaft is having, if that omega is equal to omega n, then what will happen? Anyone? Or if rotational frequency of the rotor system, or in this case rotor system, is equal to natural frequency, what happens? Omega is natural frequency, what will happen? This is basic physics. Have you heard about phenomenon of resonance? Resonance occurs. So what is resonance? Yes, Aryan. Is it desirable or not? At least tell me that. Okay, I think you are not interested. So if that omega, I'm saying, if the frequency of rotation of the system is equal to omega n, there will be resonance. Or you can say that speed is nothing but critical speed. So whenever the speed at which the frequency of rotation is equal to natural frequency, that speed is called as the critical speed. And what happens at this critical speed? At this critical speed, the shaft starts vibrating violently in the lateral direction. So shaft starts violently vibrating. Vibration will be start in lateral direction. So shaft start vibrating violently. So this is not desirable case. Now, so I told you what is critical speed. It is speed at which the frequency of rotation is equal to natural frequency, and at critical speed there will be this shaft is displacing, or the amplitude of this vibration is highest. The shaft is vibrating with highest amplitude, which is not desirable. Now, then as we know the G is outside, what happens when omega, there are three conditions basically: when omega is less than omega c, when omega is equal to omega c, and when omega is greater than omega c. So I ask you, what if omega is equal to omega c, there will be resonance condition, critical condition. So at what speed we should rotate this shaft? Whether it is at less than or greater than? Anyone can tell me? What will be omega? Omega should be greater than omega c or less than omega c? Because omega c means I'm saying omega c is nothing but omega n. Yes. At what speed we should operate it? And what will happen if omega is less than omega c? Yes, yes. Please.
Omega should be smaller than critical speed.
It should be smaller than critical speed. And if it is equal to omega c, then suppose I'm rotating shaft.
Deflection will be high. There will be high deflection.
Yes, there will be high deflection. So we'll see first some derivation part, and then I'll explain how to avoid this condition and what speed the shaft should rotate. That means omega should be less than omega c, it should be greater than omega c, or it should be equal to omega c. That we'll see. So I think this diagram is clear to you. Means there are two forces. One is acting outward, one is acting inward. Ky is nothing but stiffness, force due to stiffness, and it's nothing but centrifugal force. The term Y, E, S, G, O are known to you. Omega is known to you. So for equilibrium condition, you can see, for equilibrium, this m omega square into y plus e, that is nothing but centrifugal force is equal to stiff resisting force, and that force is equal to Ky. So from this, if you equate these two equations, then we can write y is equal to, based on this, how I writing? The y is equal to m omega square upon y plus e upon k. And if you simplify this, m omega square into e upon this, how we simplify it? We can just m omega square into y plus m omega square into e is equal to ky. Further, if we take y common, it is k minus m omega square, and hence y is equal to m omega square e upon k minus m omega square. Just simple, we are simplifying this equation number 1. If we simplify this equation number 1, then we get equation for deflection, that is y. Okay, so now I got this equation for y. Okay, if we further simplify this, if I take m common from this equation, then that equation will be, if you take m common, this m get cancelled, and it is k upon m. So further, k upon m is nothing but omega n, because we know that omega n is equal to root of k by m. This is equation for natural frequency. So omega n is equal to root k by m. Just 1 minute. Okay, so what we are discussing, just we are getting equation for y. Y is equal to m omega square e upon k minus m omega square. So if you simplify further, that is divided by omega n, and m taking common, m get cancelled, we get omega upon omega n square into e is equal to 1 minus omega upon omega n square. So this is your final equation for y, that is deflection. Now you can see here y is nothing but omega upon omega n. This is one ratio of frequency of rotation upon natural frequency, or you can say omega c. So this y depends upon these two frequencies. One is omega, that is frequency of rotation, and omega natural frequency, or you can say critical speed. Frequency at critical speed. E is nothing but eccentricity. So if, now tell me, what will happen to y depends upon omega. So we have to consider two conditions. at omega is equal to omega c. Means we know that omega is equal to omega c. So if when omega is equal to omega c, what is y? Or we can say omega is equal to omega n. What is value of y? We have to consider three conditions for y. When omega is equal to omega n, when omega is less than omega n, and when omega is greater than omega n. So what first value of y at omega is equal to omega n? Yes, anyone? And what happens? Just see this
Infinity.
equation. Of course, it is infinity because omega is equal to omega n. This term is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So 1 upon 0 is infinity. So remember, when omega is equal to omega n, when angular frequency of rotation is equal to natural frequency, or you can say circular or critical speed, frequency at critical speed, then the y will be infinity, or deflection of the shaft will be infinity. Means shaft may break at this speed. So we have to avoid that critical speed. So shaft should not rotate at critical speed. That's why we need to understand concept of critical speed, and then we need to understand at what speed we should rotate it. So at omega is equal to omega n, at omega is equal to omega c, shaft will vibrate violently at infinity, and there may be some breakdown of shaft. So we need to avoid the critical speed. Now what happens if omega is less than omega c, or you can say omega is less than omega n, and at omega is greater than omega n? But tell me, when omega is less than omega n, what about y? It is positive or negative?
Positive.
When I said omega is less than omega n, so this term will be positive. And this term will be positive means when omega is less than omega n, y is positive. Y is positive means like this. Here, this is condition. Y is positive means you can say from this side, it will be positive and this side it will be negative. So y is on this side. So when I said omega is less than omega n, y is positive. Y is positive means g is outside, and the rotor is rotating with heavy side outside. Heavy side outside is not desirable. So when it is rotating, when omega is less than omega n, y is positive, and the rotor is rotating, shaft is rotating with heavy side outside. The reverse is the case if omega is less than omega n. If omega is less than omega n, now there is no picture with me, but I can. When omega is less than omega n, this y is negative, and this g is trying to approach O. So g will be inside. Means in that case, g will be on the inside, inner side. So when omega is okay. So I was talking about omega. When omega is less than omega n, in that case, this g is outside, or the rotor is rotating with heavy side outside. But when omega is less than omega n, in that case, condition is reverse, and this rotor is rotating with g inside, or you can say the rotor is rotating with heavy side inside, which is desirable. You can see when omega is greater than omega n, we can check theoretical also. When omega is greater than omega n, means this will be positive. Means y is negative, because this term is positive means 1 minus greater than 1, so it will be negative. So y is negative. Y is negative means this y is on this side. So the s and g lies on inside, means rotor is rotating with heavy side inside, which is desirable case. So omega should be greater than omega n, or you can say omega should be greater than critical speed. So we need to rotate in order to avoid vibrations, in order to avoid breaking of shaft. We need to rotate that shaft with critical speed, with a speed greater than omega n, or you can say with a speed greater than omega c. At that time, the shaft will rotate smoothly, or you can say g is trying to approach this O. So the vibrations will be less. So desirable condition for us is omega should be greater than omega n, not equal to, not less than. At less than omega n also, when omega is less than omega n, we can see vibrations. Now see, I am going to show you this in practical also, but theoretical I am telling you first. When omega is less than omega n, there will be vibrations. When omega is equal to omega n, of course there will be vibrations because critical speed. But when omega is greater than omega n, these vibrations will be reduced because the rotor is rotating with heavy side inside. opposite case of this. So I told you three conditions. I explained three conditions when omega is equal to omega n, when omega is less than n, omega n, and when omega is greater than omega n. I hope you understand that. Same conditions are explained here. So you can see when omega is greater than omega n and when omega is less than omega n, or omega is equal to omega n. So we can see here from equation 2, deflection y of the shaft tends to infinity when omega is equal to omega n. Thus, for critical speed of shaft is equal to natural frequency of. Thus, critical speed of shaft is equal to natural frequency of lateral vibration for the shaft when at omega is equal to omega n. Also, it is seen that deflection is positive. When it is positive, when critical speed and negative about the critical speed, means when omega is less than omega n, deflection is positive. But when omega is greater than omega n, deflection is negative and the vibrations are less. Now, how to find critical speed? Theoretically and experimentally. In order to find experimentally, we need to perform practical only. We need to observe and we need to calculate the critical speed with a tachometer, or actually there is speedometer is there. But theoretically, in order to find critical speed, yes. So length of the shaft is known to you. I'm saying this one is length of the shaft. Let's say L is given to you. Then diameter of the shaft is known to you. E. What is E? Modulus of elasticity for the material given is known to you. Mass of the disc attached to shaft is known to you. If M is known, E is known, diameter of the shaft is known, length is known, then I can find mass moment of inertia first. And mass moment of inertia for the shaft is 5/32 into d raised to 4. In this case, d, that is diameter of the shaft, is known to me 0.08 meter. So I can find I. Once I know I, then I can find K, that is nothing but stiffness, which is equal to formula for the shaft is 48 into A upon L cube, where E is known, I is known, L is known, you can find K. Okay, once stiffness of the shaft is known, then we know that critical speed, that is omega c or omega n, theoretical value is equal to root of K by M. K is known to me, M is known to me, we get omega n, that is 143.5 radian per second. If you want in RPM, then 2 pi NC upon 60. So it is equal to 1370 RPM. I told you how to determine critical speed theoretically. Just simply we determine I, K, and then omega c. So the value of the theoretical critical speed is 1370 RPM. Okay. Of course, and this is, remember, okay. And now we need to find practically, means at what speed the shaft will vibrate violently. So we'll run that setup and we'll see at what speed that shaft will vibrate violently. That speed we need to find out. So experimental critical speed of shaft will be not exactly equal, but it is in that range only. The value with us for reference value is 1460 RPM. So you can see we can find out theoretical speed as well as experimental critical speed, and we know that to avoid vibrations, we have to rotate that shaft above the speed. Means above the speed, if you rotate it, then we'll get less. Now we get less vibrations. Shaft will vibrate with less vibrations. That's what all about experiment. I told you theory of this experiment. Any doubt in this case? Hello. I just told you theoretical part. Any doubt? Yes or no? At least getting theory. What is critical speed? At what speed we should rotate the shaft? And why you should not rotate below the or above the speed? Omega should be less than omega n. Omega should be greater than omega n, or it should be equal to. That should be, it should be understand to you. Means you must understand these things. Yes, you got this? समझ लेगा?
Oh.
Okay. So now I'll move to practical. Just wait for some time. I'll go to the lab and then I'll start practical. Theory is clear? Okay. You can do the one thing. You can write this experiment. I'll share it to you. As it is, you have to write experiment number 7, title, aim, theory. All things are written, and then just we need to write the value from that setup. Okay. You must have this with you. The value of the critical speed is 1370 RPM, and experimental value is 1460 RPM. Okay, that we need to find out. That we need to check with our setup. Simple experiment. That's why I take them first practical. It's very easy. And now what is procedure I'm explaining to you. First, the mount the shaft in the end, connecting bushings and tighten the same in the bearing properly. Already the shaft is mounted, so no need to do this arrangement. Already shaft is mounted. Just we need to check whether it is loose or fixed. Okay, that means just we need to check the shaft arrangement, whether it is loosely fitted or tightly fitted. That we need to check. So we need to start the motor, and once we start the motor, shaft starts running. As the speed increases, amplitude of the disc goes on increasing till at the critical speed. And at the critical speed, the amplitude is large enough. We need to find out that RPM. When the shafts vibrate violently in lateral direction, that speed we need to note down, and that speed will be critical speed. Now, once you pass to the critical speed, fastly, we'll raise that speed above the critical speed, and we'll observe that shafts will run, or shafts will start running with a lesser amplitude. That's what I told you. When omega is greater than omega n, shafts will start smooth running. Shaft will run smoothly. So we need to run that shaft above the critical speed. But of course, at critical speed, it will vibrate violently. And at higher speed, shafts runs truly, and it is seen as it is steady. So that's what a simple experiment we need to find out. I hope you understand what we need to do in this practical. Just simple it is. Any doubt? Yes. Or any doubt? I think no. Okay. So we'll see now the practical. I'll go to lab and then I'll share another link maybe. Okay. Thank you for theory.